What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of the New York Yankees podcast. I am so glad that you guys have stuck around through all my, podcast videos, my tutorials, and even my franchise videos. If you haven't already, definitely go check those out. I would really appreciate it. Really help me out. Also, if you would like to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that as well. That will be down low below the video. Let's shoot for 20 likes, guys. I know we can definitely get that. So, let's get right into it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. So the Yankees, they had a rough start. So we're about 5-5 now on the year. Definitely not the best start. But I'm seeing a lot of good things, and like I said, I'm unbiased in this. I definitely don't want to play sides. I want to be critical of the team that I love to watch. Obviously, if you guys can't tell already by my channel, I am a diehard Yankees fan. I have not missed a game yet. I've missed a couple innings, but I've mostly seen every game. So I'm gonna start off with Aaron Judge's. I'm gonna start off with what he's been doing. So I think the stat that stands out most to me is his 9 walks and 38 at-bats. And the reason why is because as a 2-hitter, he's really putting his power in the back seat. And I think that's really tough for him, especially when Giancarlo Stanton's struggling as much as he is. However, that's something that I will touch and get into thoroughly later in the video. But for right now, we're on Judge. So, yeah, his walks are huge because when you have a guy like Brett Gardner hitting leadoff, that's a guy who will always get on base. Very good at-bats, puts a lot of 10-pitch ABs together, will get on any way he can. He's got some wheels. He can steal once he gets on. Brett Gardner's just a grinder. He's an all-around great player, but to have him as a leadoff hitter is even better. So Aaron Judge feeds off that. So now, everybody always talks about, okay, you can't pitch to Judge, Stanton, or you can't pitch to Judge, Stanton, or Sanchez. But really, I think that stems to the 5, not just 3 of them. I think that stems to Brett Gardner and Didi Gregorius, especially now where I think my preseason projections were that he's going to hit 30+. He's been on that 25 cusp home runs for the past 2 years with the Yankees. I think he's going to – I definitely think he can hit that 30 spot. So I'm really hoping for him. I'm pulling for him. But, yeah, back to that. I think that – and the starting pitchers have proved it this year, that you can't be too careful when pitching to the top 5 Yankees. So, a lot of guys have been getting pulled. Blake Snell, one of the best pitchers last year for the Rays, and probably, lefties in all of baseball, and probably one of the best pitchers in the AL last year in general. He threw 84 pitches through 4 2/3, I believe, against the Yankees. So it really goes to show, the pitchers are really taking their time. They're being very meticulous in their pitches. They have an approach. It works, but it also takes a lot out of them. So the Yankees, without even having to start the game, just throwing their lineup out there and stacking those top 5 guys, it really puts a lot of pressure on the bullpen because off the rip, that your starting pitcher has a game plan, and it's going to be really tough to attack the zone and get outs and see results because of the way their lineup works. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Aaron Judge. He has a lot of quality at-bats, right? 9 walks and 30 ABs, like I said. He's also working a lot of 3-2 counts, and he's getting a lot of 2-strike hits, and this is just a recreated Aaron Judge, and I'm loving every second of it. So next we're going to go into Clint Frazier. He has started playing minor league games, which I'm pretty excited about. This is a guy who struggled with a concussion early in the year against the wall in spring training. Couldn't remember his cat's name. Had to be driven to and from the stadium, right? All through spring training, he was monitored. So they're really working hard on him. They want to get him back, but the problem is concussions, especially ones that are as serious as this, they haven't really released the severity of it. But for the duration that he's been out, this is a pretty serious deal. And, dealing with such a young player, it becomes crucial to really take care of him. So I'm excited for him to come back. I don't want to risk it, though. I hope the Yankees take their time with him, and I'm sure they will. They have a great, great staff. So whenever we get him back, that'll be fine. Aaron Hicks is going to return before Jacoby Ellsbury. So that was announced early last week, where Ellsbury was going to be – I think he's going to be placed on the DL again on the 10-day while he had his hip reevaluated in New York by a hip specialist, and that was in between the Baltimore Orioles and Tampa Bay Rays series, there hasn't been any official word on the diagnosis or a recovery plan. However, Hicks did come off the DL on Thursday, and they will reactivate him. And he should be, I think he's going down to Tampa to get some at-bats, and then he'll be up probably by the end or the middle of this Red Sox series. Now, it's going to be huge, especially talking about all the injuries, which is going to segue into the next point. So, Tyler Wade was sick. Thank God he didn't pull anything. As much as I'm not a huge fan of Tyler Wade, as you guys know from watching earlier videos in the franchise. However, he has been an integral part to this team. He brings speed. He brings a great glove. And at this point, we just need bodies, that have had the major league experience. So he was out with a, stomach bug or something along those lines. They didn't release the official illness that he had. However, Ronald Torres took his spot, picking up a couple hits, picking up a couple RBIs, playing an outstanding second base. He even started at shortstop to give Didi the day off in the last game against the Orioles, where there was also a 12-inning game on top of their 16-inning game, which they lost both of those. So they're definitely heartbreakers this series. So on top of that Tyler Wade injury, if you would like to call it an injury, Brandon Drury is also on the 10-day DL with severe migraines. Now, this raises a red flag for me because it makes me think of the Drew Pomeranz trade with the Red Sox. Now, this wasn't documented by the Arizona Diamondbacks staff because Drury said, I kept it to myself. I felt like it was something that I could push through. However, this could come back to hurt us. I don't think it does, but it definitely raises concern that, yes, he is a gamer, but there's a huge difference between are you hurt or are you injured? And guys that play through, when they're banged up, banged up being hurt, and guys that play through injury are two different types, of pain. And one can hurt you, and the other one could just end your career or, destroy your contract. And I'm just hoping this is something that's temporary. They are evaluating Drury and giving him options. So I don't know. They didn't set a timetable for his return. I'm hoping that at the end of that 10-day DL duration that he spends there, they will have something figured out for him, and he'll be back to third base in the pinstripes. Now, CC Sabathia, another, low-profile injury there. He talked in an article, and he said it's a soreness that he's never felt before in all of his years of playing baseball. And that's definitely cause for concern too. I mean, if you ever go out there in a sport that you're playing, any sport, and you tweak something, you're like, wow, I've never felt that before. That can't be good. So they had an MRI. It was negative. He came out and said that he feels confident about it. So I think he's going to miss 1, maybe 2 starts. But again, that's what you get when you – wow, what a catch. That's what you get when you have a guy like CC Sabathia, up in his – at the end of his career. We're not expecting, every single start at CC. We're really not. And I think that's what the coaching staff thinks too. We need him as an elite pitcher, and we need quality starts out of him all year. Minus those starts that he needs rest or he's, a little banged up, and then we're going to need him in the playoffs because that experience you're going to get second to none. You know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about CC. I think he's going to be just fine. Gary Sanchez, he only had a cramp, so I can really cross that one off the list. But he almost caught 2 full games in that 16-inning game. Came out with a cramp, but Romine stepped up in the Orioles series, and he's been getting hits and RBIs, and it's just awesome what this Yankee bench has been doing. They're putting up numbers. And having to pick up Giancarlo Stanton has not been an easy task, guys. So I'm glad the bullpen, I'm sorry, the bench, they've been picking it up, and it's awesome. That's really what a team is. And even Aaron Judge came out and quoted yesterday that when he was talking about Giancarlo Stanton that we're a team. We're going to pick players up, and in this time, we know he's going to get through it, but for right now, we need to keep doing our job. And he's definitely right. And that's something that I feel like with the addition of Aaron Boone, that's going to just improve the morale of the clubhouse. Having that younger guy, right, because he's not as old as Joe Girardi was, I think that changes the age gap with this young team. And it really allows them to mesh and be themselves, right, for the future of the New York Yankees. So I'm not too worried about Stanton. I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes here. But yeah, the bench has been doing an outstanding job. The bullpen, we brought up Domingo Germán and another arm who are going to be fighting for the #1 spot which is going to be in CeCe's rotation, and they'll probably both be sent back down, and then Jonathan Holder will most likely come back up, unless, one of them wins a job. But I watched Domingo Germán throw, hard-throwing right-hander, a lot of movement, 97, 98 with a nice two-seam. He gets a lot of strikeouts, but he also gives up a lot of hits. So he didn't really prove much. Definitely could be a good bullpen arm in the future, but we did call up a lot of guys this year. We have a lot of youth on this team, so really no rush for them. It was just a midweek decision, and without a bullpen, we really needed somebody to fill the gap. So, speaking about pitching, we're going to go ahead and talk about Jordan Montgomery for a few minutes. So, in my opinion, he needs to throw less pitches and more strikes. He needs to be way more aggressive. Okay, 9 innings pitched in 2 appearances with 6 walks. He hasn't even made it past the 5th inning yet. Okay, he's throwing 80-plus pitches in 4 to 5 innings. We can't have that. I understand he's our 5 guy. He is also still young. He did have a hell of a year last year with the Yankees. I'm not detesting that. However, we need consistency out of that 5 spot, because even now we can't even get consistency out of Sonny Gray. And a lot of people are saying, oh, the Yankees are supposed to have the best bullpen in baseball. That's true, but we also weren't supposed to have starters who can only go 4 innings with 80 pitches and really, put us in a predicament, even when we're up by runs. You can't expect your bullpen to come out and dish out 15 to 18 outs a game. That's just ridiculous. Even 12 to 15 outs is a lot for a bullpen. I don't care how good our bullpen is. And that really proved those low inning starts and high pitch starts really put the Yankees at a stress in the pen, and that's why we had to go ahead and call up a couple guys. And I think that's really where the problem's stemming from. I have no doubt in my mind that this bullpen is going to be the one to get it done all year, just like they have always done in the past few years. But Betances is a 4-time All-Star. Let's not get that out of our heads. Please, please, please do not give up on this kid. But yeah, Montgomery needs to figure it out as the 5 spot. We really need something out of that. All right, so now last but not least, everybody has been talking about it, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a perspective that's going to put all the fake Yankee fans, the haters of baseball, everybody into perspective, okay? Giancarlo Stanton, okay? The Stantonian monster, all right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw a fact out at you. I forgot where I read this fact. However, it is true. I went ahead and looked it up, okay? Giancarlo Stanton has never struck out 4 times in a single game in his entire MLB career, okay? But he comes to New York, 10 games within the season, strikes out 5 times twice in 1 game. Okay, that being said, this is also last year's NL MVP who hit 59 home runs and had over 120 RBIs. This is not a man that is supposed to get booed out of Yankee Stadium, okay? This is such a delicate situation, because coming from Miami or coming from an organization like that where there's not a huge fan base, nobody cares if your NL MVP strikes out 5 times in a game. They're not going to care. They can't even sell out a crowd, let alone the fans there. They're not going to boo their best player, let alone the NL's best player, right? So I think it's just the pressure of New York getting to him. This guy, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be one of the best hitters on the New York Yankees and in the AL. Now, it will probably take him some time to get used to it, okay? It's a huge jump, coming from any program or any organization like Atlanta, Miami, Tampa Bay, and then trying to play in New York or Boston or Los Angeles. Come on, that's not going to be something that's easy to do, especially when you're playing within, the fan base goes from 2,000 a game to, 25, 30,000 people. That's a completely different atmosphere. So I think all the loser Yankee fans that are booing this man out of Yankee Stadium need to reevaluate, because this is the NL MVP that we just paid for. Okay, we're going to be paying through the roof, okay, for the next, 7 years or so. We need this guy, right? We need to get behind him, just like Aaron Judge said. Get behind him, right? We know he's going to come out of it, but the fans really need to get their head out of their asses and support Giancarlo Stanton. It really grinds my gears, but that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to keep a real close eye on Giancarlo. I'm going to be rooting for him. It's going to be a good year for the Yankees. Again, guys, it's only 10 games or so into the season, right? We can't be judging anybody. Now, it doesn't matter who's hot, who's not, okay? First week of the season, it's not going to tell much, right? Not going to tell much. Now, if you're watching all these games as closely as I am, you'll be able to see the player progression. If you are as into your team as I am the Yankees, I can see the little things that the Yankees have been doing, that individual players have been doing, and I'm really liking what I see. However, that's going to be all for this video, guys. I appreciate you sticking around. If you haven't already, again, please like and subscribe. I really want to get to 20 likes on this video. Also, if you haven't checked out my New York Yankees franchise on Legend difficulty, please check out my channel. It's on there. There's a playlist for it. I will be adding another video to that playlist sometime this week, guys. I appreciate your patience. I wanted to get this Yankees one out because there was a lot I needed to cover. You know, and just covering the Yankees in real time is something that I absolutely love doing, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. I appreciate the support.